Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders that rule impeccably well. And shalom to the Akim that's pushing his truth and sincerity throughout the four winds, man. You know, we are the Hebrew Israelites. We come out here every single week, right, to prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom that's upheld by Esau Edom, you know, currently known today as the so-called white man, all right? You know, the Caucasian race, they call themselves Caucasians, whites, you know, they rule the world, man. The elites of that people, they rule the world. Go to Job 9 and 24, it tells you the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, all right? And they covered the faces of the judges, man. So that's the current climate that we're living in right now, man. We're being ruled over by a degenerate, you know, being that wants to chip everyone, man, right? And that wants to have everyone enslaved, including his own people. All right, and when we got to talk about these things, as prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Lord willing we be of them chosen men, we got to report on these things, man. All right? Elder Apostle is always talking about pushing prophecy, man. Right? That's a big thing. We always get into prophecy and things that are not yet carried out because we got to warn the people, man. You know, especially the elect of our people, because they're going to be delivered. Go on, bro.
Quick precept.
Go on.
This is Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
Right, so when the righteous are in authority, meaning in rulership, people rejoice, man. And why do they rejoice? Because things are done according to the law of the scriptures, all right? Things are done according to the law, statutes, and commandments of this book, man, and that's how it's going to be in our kingdom. That's why in our kingdom, after 1,000 years, all right, everyone is going to be blessed, so to speak, and everyone is going to be happy. You're going to be in an environment that's not going to be wicked, all right? The food you eat is going to be purified. All right, it's not going to have, you know, GMOs. All right, it's going to be natural strains of seed that you're going to be dealing with. You're not going to be dealing with no mixed seeds and, you know, contaminated, mutated variants of different types of seeds. Everything is going to be genuine, man. It's going to be refreshed. Carry on, bro.
But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
Right, so when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn, man. All right, because you're under a wicked vibration. Right, the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible is not carried out. You know, it says in Habakkuk, you know, judgment is slack. So there's no justice in this society, man. That's why there's uproars throughout the four corners of the earth. Because everything is fucked up and out of course. All right? Is that in there?
Yep. Right. This is Revelation chapter...
Yep.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he calls all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
Right, and that's talking about, you know, the elites of Esau, the elites of Edom, right? The so-called white man, right? The bankers, right? The people that are really in control of this society on the left-hand side. They're going to cause all people, all right, that are not covered with the mark, with the far wall, to take the RFID chip, man. What's happening up there?
Some could crash or something, maybe.
Right. Yo, you know, he's gonna cause all people to take that mark, man. Right, that charagma, right, that chip. Why? So he can control the people, man. Have full control, because Esau thinks of himself as a god, a power, a higher power, man. And he wants to be over that power, which is Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Carry on.
And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
Right, and without this technology, right, ingrained in you, put in your hand, right, you're going to be subject to not be able to operate in society, man. Right? You're basically going to be an outcast. You're going to be an outcast of society, and they're going to deem you as an enemy of the state. And most likely, if you don't get it, you're going to be killed. Right? That's how it's going to go down in these last days, man. Right? That's what people are going to be subject to do. So many people will take the RFID chip just out of fear and, you know, the thought of not being able to eat. Right? They're not going to trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man.
That's right.
Really, I'm talking about the bulk of our people, the Israelites, man. Because you heathens, you know, you can take the chip, man. It's not going to make a difference here or there if you take the chip, because the Lord ain't dealing with you anyway. All right? But our people that are on the sign here, if you can panic, brother, you know, you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you know, if you take that chip, right, you're going to be subject to the second death, man. Right? You're going to get nuked. Because you didn't trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. Right? And a certain amount of our people, they're slated to take the chip, man. they're slated to trust in the chariots of Egypt, man. All right? Because they've been ordained from the beginning to be, you know, condemned. Carry on, bro.
Yeah. And it says, and here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
Wow.
I got something for you? Yep. It's Revelation chapter 14, verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead and in his hand.
If any man worship the beast and his image, what's the image? The lifestyle of this beast system, man. Right? If you worship that beast and the image, right? Carry on.
And it says, and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand.
And if you get that mark in your forehead or in your hand, and you notice this time it didn't specifically say which hand it could be. Because really it could be anywhere in your body, man. Alright? So you got some smart asses out there who say, oh, what if I get it in my arse cheek, or between here, or between there? Well, bro, if you get the mark full stop, you're gonna be doomed. You're gonna be condemned and through. Finished, man. Alright?
Add one scripture to that. Say, tempt not the Lord.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So
yeah, don't chance it.
People that are saying that, they're really tempting the Lord there, man.
Yeah.
It says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation.
Right. Indignation is righteous anger, and they said it's going to be poured out without mixture, man. So you're going to receive the full brunt, the full wrath of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai if you take the RFID chip, man. All right? And it's as simple as that. The Lord ain't playing games concerning the RFID chip, man. Right? If you get that, right, you are doomed.
You're done.
Right? You are done. You are doomed, man. That's why when you have other prophets out there, don't have to say no names, when they want to play with the idea of, you know, it's not the mark of the beast and it's not this and it's not that, or, you know, that's not what it's talking about, you want to take that lightly, right, and tempt the Most High, then you're going to get, destroyed, man. You know? If you want to play around with the mark of the beast, man, you're going to get destroyed flat out, man, because you're playing around with the idea and you confusing the people, making them think that it's not serious, man. You know, putting potato chips on your hand and shit like that. You can't play around with the prophets, man, with the prophecy. Wow.
Right?
No, you can't, brother.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
And it says, can I bring a quick scripture, bro?
Yeah, bro.
It's the 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. But there were false prophets also among the people.
Get it in. Get it in.
Even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies,
right,
even denying the Lord that brought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction.
Right, bringing in damnable heresies, man. Right, our job is to come out here and preach this word in truth and in sincerity, man. Right, that's a very serious thing. We can't come out here and be miscrewing the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, saying maybe it's this or maybe it's that. Us as prophets, right, of hopeful men of the Lord, we gotta be sure about what we're talking about, man. If we're telling you the RFID chip is the mark of the beast, we fully believe that, man. Through the Spirit, we believe that, and that's why we're warning our people about that, man.
That's right.
So if you're coming out and saying, well, no, it might not be that, or, you know, we don't really know until the end. No, at the end it's gonna be too late, right? The end is gonna be too late. That's when you fucked. Because at the end, you ain't even gonna be thinking straight, man. The scriptures say, you know, Isaiah 33:6, that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time. So you're going to need to know what the chip is. You're going to need to know what Yahweh Shai looks like. You got to know what to expect. You got to know how the Lord's going to come back. So you know it is the Lord when he returns, man. Right? You got to know what to expect in these last days, man. It's not about being wishy-washy.
That's right.
You know, kind of this, it's kind of that. I don't really know. You know, I'm agnostic. I'm not going to make a decision. Hopefully the Lord will have mercy on me. No, man, the scriptures talk about having itching ears. If you got itching ears and you believe in a little bit over here and a little bit over there, that's confusion, man.
Bro, if I may say something, this is spiritual, because I was with a brother Aman, and we were literally talking about the mark of the beast. And we were literally talking about, like, and I was saying to Aman, bro, you gotta be a demon to be teaching that the RFID chip is anything but the mark of the beast.
Right.
Because I was watching an old video of the apostles and Revelation, they were breaking down the mark of the beast perfectly. And they went into, if I can read this real quick for you, in Revelation 13, the last verse in Revelation 13, it says, here is wisdom, let him that have the understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. 66. So Apostle Paul went into it, right? And you know, obviously they always encourage us to go into the meanings of these words, right?
Yeah.
So they broke it down, and Apostle Paul said, what? Do you know what that means in the Greek? Kai Sai Stigma. All right, the translation of 666. So I went into Kai Sai Stigma, the actual word stigma, and when you go into the etymology of stigma, it says 1590s, it says circa 1400s, around about that mark. It says mark made on the skin by burning with a hot iron. It says from the Latin stigma, from the Greek stigma, mark of a pointed instrument, yeah, puncture, or tattoo mark, or a branding. So what's that talking about? That's talking about the syringe, which they're gonna use to funnel the RFID chip in, which makes a puncture in the skin.
That's the impalement, yeah.
Exactly, bro. You know?
Crazy, man.
So how can it be anything else? How can it be talking about Christianity?
Yeah,
John the Revelator saw these people getting shit. They saw them getting punctured. You know? And I did watch what the Kingsman, Secret Service, and they pretty much had like the mark of the beast, man. You know, because you had Samuel Jackson, and he was rolling out. He was rolling out the plans of the elites, right? And he was giving out all these free SIM cards, which was really the chip. You know, and everyone was lining up to get this. And if anyone didn't go down with the plans, they just explode them in your head. You know, so you know they can turn your chip off when you receive your mark of your branding from your slave master, which a lot of you people out here are gonna do. You know, he can turn off. Who's to say that he can't turn off that chip when or however he wants, man? And he can do that to you people, man, and he will do it. You know.
If I fucking that's proof why it doesn't matter where you take it. Because it's the point is you took it.
That's right.
Because it's that branding of saying, okay, you're mine now.
Yep.
Sort of like you got a cow. You got a cow. You know, it doesn't matter where you branded it. You can brand it on its hoof, on its neck, on its everywhere. But it's your cow now.
Yep.
That's right. And that even goes back to the law. You know, if you after the 7 years you still want to stay with your master, you got to brand yourself. All right, but that's on the left. That's on the right hand side. You know, but he's also trying to do this shit on the left hand side, man, because he wants to control everything about you, everything that you do, how you have sex with your woman, you know, where you go, 24/7. He wants to watch over you. You know, this guy wants to actually be like as a god. If you can get that in Thessalonians, Brother Kashar, think himself to be as the Most High.
It's in 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 19. Because we were talking about how the apostles, Prophet saying the apostles breaking it down. Now we're in that end time where a lot of these prophecies are getting revealed. You understand? This is 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 19. We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto you do well that you take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place, until the day dawn and the day star arise in your hearts. Should we read it again? Right. 2 Peter 1 and 19. We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto you do well that you take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place, until the day dawn and the day star arise in your hearts. And I was actually looking into the word sure, and it says, this Babios, it says stable, fast, firm, sure, trusty. So when we bring out this prophecy, like you were saying, bro.
That's
sure,
right.
we're sure that
we're sure
that's the mark of the beast.
You gotta be sure, man. Because if wisdom and knowledge are gonna be the spirit of our times, that means you got that surety in your mind. When everything's gone down, kaput, and everything's fucked up, there's mayhem, people running to and fro, they don't know what to do, you're gonna have to be sure that you're doing the right thing and that your faith is solidified in you, man. Right? You gotta have that sureness in that time, man. More than ever before.
Oh, be fully persuaded.
Be fully persuaded
in your own mind. Yep.
Yep. All right. Even now, you got to be fully persuaded. We're doing what we're doing now because we're fully persuaded. Right? We're preaching what we're preaching through the fear of the Yahweh Shem Yahushai. We persuade men. All right. Because we actually believe this. Right? We're telling you the chip is going to be instituted and made mandatory because we believe it. All right. We believe that, man.
Can I say one thing? When Yahushua was tempted of the devil, remember that's a deceiver. So the Lord was sure and firm in the scriptures, in the law and the scriptures, in the prophecies. So he came against the deceiver with what? The sure word of prophecy, the words. That's
right.
The Lord.
Well, that's what the devil means. But remember, the scripture says, Revelation 16 and 14, they are the spirits of devils working miracles. So they're pushing this whole you know, the chip will make you walk again. You know, you have all your identification on one chip. You know, a new world currency, a new world order. That's what they're trying to push.
Centralizing everything.
Right,
Everything
right.
goes through this one stream. It's so simplified. You're gonna love it. Trust us. You know. Then before you know it, you're fucked.
Yeah,
You know.
trust us.
They've already proven that this universal credit thing don't work. Now it's just a run to see how it will go. And it flopped anyway, but they're still gonna find something else to replace it. You know. They're gonna do that. They're gonna keep pushing the centralization of everything. They already said they were going to connect everything to one government.
Yep.
So that shows you that New World Order vibration, that New World Order spirit is already in the midst. It's been in the midst, man.
Yeah, well, that happened at the time of Antiochus.
Right.
And that show, in fact, if I can get the precept,
Correct.
that shows you that ain't nothing but the Edomites coming back. What? The Greeks coming back, man.
Yeah.
Because Antiochus did the same thing. I believe it's what, First Maccabees. You know. Like one world order, man. Hey, all the way even in the Tower of Babel, man. What? The Lord went down with that.
Yeah.
Okay, First Maccabees 1 and 41. It says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his people, to his whole kingdom, that all should be one people.
Yeah.
So that's that university, that's that universal credit system, that's
it.
one world universal currency.
Yeah.
That's why we know that they're looking to attack the economy real soon.
Correct.
All they need is the right major crisis, remember?
That's it. Just the right crisis, man.
Because these people, when the right major crisis comes, they're gonna be running to the government, man.
That's right.
Chip me, you know?
That's it. They're going to be begging for the chip, man. Right? Because that chip is going to enable you to eat. It's going to enable you to buy and just be a normal person. And you know how badly people want to be normal in society.
Yeah,
They don't want to be different.
I'm fitting in.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
You know, if they see one guy, I ain't got the chip.
Yeah.
Get that guy. He ain't got the chip.
Yeah,
They're going to jump
what's
on you,
wrong
man.
with it?
They're going to make sure you get chipped. Because you're going to be the only one without it, so they're going to look at you as a threat. Right, you chip.
Propaganda.
Yeah.
Propaganda.
What's wrong with you? What you got to hide? Get chipped.
Exactly.
That's how it's going to be in these last days.
Or it's just in terms of the advertising, you'll have people on the news with like, I haven't got anything tied. People who don't want the chip, they probably a criminal or something. And propaganda that way.
Yep. And that's how they're gonna push it, man. That's that order of chaos, man. You know?
Right.
It's chaotic for you not to be chipped. You know what I mean? I mean, we've seen what happens when you're not chipped.
Yeah.
You know, when we don't know exactly where you are and how you breathe.
Yeah.
You know, that's how they're gonna do it, man. You know?
If you're going down to hide,
Right.
why not?
Just get it.
I mean, surely it's more convenient.
Yeah.
Because it's convenient, don't make it right.
Right.
This is
Right. It's convenient for the so-called white man to be a paedophile.
Yeah.
But does it make it right? Devils, man.
This is Jeremiah 17:5. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, cursed be the man that trusteth in man and maketh flesh his arm.
Hey, that's right, man. Hey, trust. Wait, read that again.
Cursed be the man
Cursed.
that trusteth in man.
Cursed be the man that trusteth in man, man. Right? If you trust in the so-called white man, you're going to get cursed, man. You're going to receive that judgment, man. Right? Trusting in the chariots of Egypt. That's really what you're doing. You're trusting in the so-called white man's system. You're saying, you know what, I don't really have faith in the Lord. I think the white man, I think he's got a good idea here, man. You know, there's going to be a safer environment. I'm going to know where my kids are all the time. You know, if I collapse somewhere, my medical details is going to be on my chip. He's going to like highlight all these benefits of the RFID chip, but they're not really benefits, man. It's spiritual wickedness in high places. That's really what it is. Go on, bro.
It says, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Lord.
And your heart is going to depart from Yahweh because you don't trust in him, man. Because you can't see him yet, right? Then you're going to think, nah, fuck it. This is what it's here now. I've got to conform to this, man. You know, your woman might be stressing you out. Your kids haven't ate for a few days. So you're going to be thinking that's the only option you got left, man. But then you got to think of the times of old, you know, in the scriptures and think of those examples when, you know, great men were in, you know, serious situations, but they trusted in Yahweh and they were delivered. You got to have faith in these stories that we read, man. The things that are written aforetime were written for our learning. That's literal, man. These things are written there so we can look back at them, have them in our spirit and in our mind, and they can keep us focused. Go on, bro.
This is Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
Right, they're written for our learning, man. They're written so we can go back to recite. How many times have brothers been in the jam or been in a fucked up situation and you gotta literally think of scriptures to calm yourself down? You literally gotta think of particular scriptures and scenarios of what, you know, certain men went through. Jeremiah was catching hell, getting, you know, buried in pits and shit. You gotta think of that, oh shit, well, I'm not getting through that, so it can't be that bad. But that time is still coming, all right? But the scriptures literally soothe your soul, man. It's a comforter, right? It brings you that solace to your spirit, man. Like, shit. No, but the Lord's got me though, man. You know? That's how you gotta be with this thing, man. Go on, bro.
And he says that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures.
Patience and comfort of the scriptures, man. Patience is a big thing in these scriptures, man. Right? I remember Elder Apostle Gabar said it years ago. If you Google
Can
patience
you get me
in
second
the Bible, Google patience. That word comes up hundreds of times, man. A few hundred times, man.
12, born to them, I've lost
It comes up a lot. Patience is a big thing. Patience, faith, you know. Go on,
Hey man,
bro.
the scriptures speak about the patience and the faith of the saints, man.
That's right.
You know, we got to look, man. The patience. Hey, and just after that, well, just before that, sorry, it speaks about he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So we got to be patient.
Right,
that
right.
are the basis of men. You know, the ones that have us as their captives.
2:14,
The so-called
2:14.
white man, Esau, Edom. We have to have patience that we're gonna get him in slavery, man.
That's right.
You know, and the other nations. Because they ain't gonna escape. They touched the apple of the Lord's eye. So they're gonna have to pay for that.
Yeah, that's right, man. I mean,
this
you
one
gotta
real
have
quick.
faith in these things, man. Go on, bro.
I mean, Ecclesiasticus 2:14. Woe unto you that have lost patience.
That's right. You. Woe unto you. Woe meaning what? Destruction, man. Destruction unto you if you have lost patience, man. Because we got many different examples of men losing patience in this faith, man. Fuck this, I ain't preaching this word no more, man. You know? Because you've lost patience, man. You ain't got that same zeal. You gotta keep that same zeal that you got. You gotta pray to the Lord that you keep getting reignited in the spirit. No matter how long you've been in this faith, man. Pray to the Lord that He keeps lighting that match over you, keeping you alive, man. Keeps that oil burning. You know, you don't want your oil to get cold, man. Right? Because brothers will notice if your oil is getting cold, man. Because you start doing things without the same strength. You know, you start doing things without the same strength, man.
A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid.
Right.
You know, you ain't supposed to be of those that turn. Remember, we ain't of those that draw back.
Right.
You know, if you draw back from the Lord, Scripture says He's going to draw back from you.
Right. That's right, man.
You know,
If you're diluted, you know, it's gonna show. You know, we have a diluted drink's been diluted too much, there ain't no flavor in it. It tastes very watery, man. Right? You don't want to be diluted in the spirit, man. You know, not having your same strength.
It's not as potent.
It's not as potent. Yeah. You gotta make sure your spirit is potent. It's not easy. You gotta pray, man. That's what prayer is for. You know, the Lord sees when you're praying, man. Sincere brothers will pray. The Lord knows if you're sincere and you're praying to Him, you want to be on fire. You know, the Lord's gonna hear you and put that spirit on you. The Lord put the spirit on King Solomon to be the wisest man, right? Because he prayed for that. Only a wise man would pray for that. So before he prayed for it, he already had it. You know?
and when the Lord says, I know what you have need of,
That's it.
you know,
That's it.
I got one for you real quick. Revelation 3:15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would that thou wert cold or hot.
Right.
So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth.
That's it, man. The Lord would rather you just be cold. Don't front, man. Don't come into this thing and then just be lukewarm. You know, you're barely doing the bare minimum. You want to make sure you're on fire, man, through the Spirit. You know? Or be hot, man, or just be on fire, man. One or the other. You can't be in between. The Lord ain't dealing with no grey areas, man.
If I can add it sort of exactly as that scripture is saying, right? Because you got a glass of cold water. You wanted a glass of cold water.
Right.
You wanted a cup of tea. You wanted something that was hot.
Right.
But if it's a tea that's kind of gone a bit lukewarm, now I was gonna throw it away, make a new one. Or you got a glass of water and it's too warm, throw it away. You go to the fridge, pour out some new water.
Yeah. Hey, when was the last time you went to a coffee shop and you asked for a warm flat white? That's something you ain't going here. Can I have a warm flat? You kick that guy out of the shop. What do you mean? You don't do warm flat whites. It's either hot or cold.
Yeah, even in the restaurant, this is cold. This is, you know, take it back.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
Okay, brother. You know? They in the kitchen, make a new one, brother.
Yeah.
You know? Hot one, brother.
They don't want that bad feedback.
Right. Yeah.
They don't want that negative feedback, man.
Them reviews.
Yeah.
You know? We want to get the best review from the Yahweh Hashem
That's
Yahweh
right.
Shai, man.
That's right, man.
For being on fire, man.
That's
5-star, brother.
Yeah.
You know, Lord willing, you know?
The Lord willing.
And you're only going to get that if you're on fire, man.
That's right.
You got to be on fire, man.
Got to.
Hey, our survival depends on it.
Yeah. your spiritual well-being depends on being on fire, man.
Right.
Right? Not being on fire by a nuke, but being on fire through the spirit.
That's right.
You know, through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Pray, man. You know? There's times that I haven't even got the spirit on me to do a video, man. I just gotta force myself, man. You know? And I remember Apostle Gabar said that, and at that time I've never experienced that. But then when I started experiencing it, I was like, shit, this is really a fight. This is a fight, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because you're not doing your videos to impress men. You know, you're doing it for your spiritual well-being.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, man.
Yep.
You gotta forget that. Like, if you ain't doing what it takes to get out of here, the Lord is gonna leave you here, man. You ain't gonna get beamed up, and you gonna get toasted. It's as simple as that, man. We gotta put that work in, man. For yourself, to save yourself, man. Come on, bro.
It's Romans chapter 12, verse 11. Not slothful in business,
Right.
fervent in spirit, serving the Lord.
Now, you can't be slothful in business in the world, all right? Because you will get fired. You will literally get fired. You can't do your own thing in the world. You will get fired. If you're working for Esau, he has set requirements, right, that you've got to fulfill to stay in that role, to stay in that job. Or he will replace you. He will fire you and replace you. It's as simple as that. You can't do what you want. So if you come into this thing and you ain't putting the work in, you want to do what you want,
Right.
then you are going to get spiritually fired.
Right. Go on.
I was just going to add as well, in the scripture I just quoted, the word fervent there, it goes into, fever goes into it as well.
Right.
You get fever, you get hot.
Yeah,
And this is what it says in the blue letter. And the word is zeal, and it says, I'll wait for that to go. It says, to boil with heat, be hot. And it says, as a metaphor, it says, fervent in spirit, set of zeal for what is good. You know?
Yeah.
So being hot, either, you know, it's not warm, either hot or cold, basically. Be hot, man, for this.
That's right, bro.
Hey man, we got the conditions of the contract. You know, the Lord told us what to do in order to receive salvation.
Yeah.
Now, when you go to the so-called white man, he gives you a contract.
Same thing.
All right, you need to work, because Apostle Ramla was going into this. You apply for that job because you need the money.
Yeah.
Right? So when you go and you read the contract, it states 40 hours a week.
Right.
Hey, you come here, you do 1 hour a lot, but you still want the 40 hours.
Yeah.
Well, you still think Esau's gonna pay you for that? If Esau ain't gonna do that, how much more the Heavenly Father?
Yeah.
You're fired, man.
Yeah,
You're
that's
done.
it.
You're
That's it.
fucked.
But you're leaving early, 3 hours early.
Yeah. But I mean, I couldn't do it, but
Yeah.
can I still get paid for the extra 39?
Yeah.
You'd be lucky if you get that 1 hour payment, man.
That's it.
That's what Apostle Ramlab said.
it.
You know?
Gross misconduct, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. You broke the terms and conditions of the contract.
Right.
You know?
Hey, business is about profit.
That's right.
It's about making, you know, you flip something and you make a profit. It's as
Right.
simple as that. You don't go out to work unless you're gonna make a profit, man. So when you do the work, what does the law say? He gave you 1 talent.
Yep.
Yeah.
The guy who put in a napkin, okay, who slept at home, didn't go into work that day. He didn't make no money that day, man. Okay, and the Lord ain't down with that. The Lord's down with a worker.
That's right.
You know,
That's
it's
right.
a guy that flips it and brings manyfold, man. So he can take it with usury, you know.
That's right. That's right.
This is Philippians 2:12.
Yep.
Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, man. Right? So that's what we're supposed to be doing. Each and every single one of us, Akim, we're meant to be working out our own salvation with fear and trembling, man. And if you ain't fearing and trembling, and even fearing and trembling is not an easy thing. You gotta pray for fear sometimes, man. Sometimes you might get too comfortable, right? You're losing that fear. Pray for that fear. The Lord will cause something to happen to you and cast that fear back on you, man. Right? You lose everything. You might lose fear, you might lose faith. You got to pray for all of these things, man. Because having faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and having fear of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, it's going to help you. It's going to help you stay on the straight and narrow, man. So we got to work out our own salvation with what? Fear and trembling, man. Right? You're supposed to be scared because the things that are going to be coming upon this world, right? The things that, you know, the 2/3 are going to be going through, right? Why do you think Yahushai wept? He saw what these 2/3 they were going to go through, man. You know, he saw like the grievous deaths that they was going to receive. He saw those nukes burning them up and then backsliding in nuclear fire in that lake, man. Right? Yahushua saw all these things, man. And that's a grievous sight to behold. Who was it that said, who shall deliver me in them days?
Ezra.
Oh,
Ezra.
yeah, woe is me.
Right? Woe is me, man. But really,
he got
could be
sick.
elect. Yeah.
He got sick when he saw that. Yeah?
Right.
Yeah, man.
But he was assuming that, man, like, I hope I'm one of the elect, man. But
And that's Ezra's.
And that's Ezra.
Come on, man.
That's a prophet. You know, so how should we feel? We feel the same way, man. I mean, we got the confidence to a certain extent that, you know, the Lord, you know, is going to have us of the elect. You're supposed to have the mind state like, you know, you're the 2/3, or there's no point in you pushing this truth.
Yeah, what's the point?
Yeah, what's the point?
Weak, man.
What's the point of that?